Now, as the plume of smoke from this crashed jet was filmed by the BBC, a group of larger self-luminous balls of light can be seen surveying the wreckage. These UFOs are not flares because flares do not move sideways. These are most definitely intelligently controlled spherical UFOs, much the same as those which were reported by pilots during the Second World War. This phenomena has been known about by Her Majesty's Royal Air Force for many, many years. And pilots in the war used to call these UFOs Foo Fighters. Amazingly, this is not the first time a spherical UFO has collided with an aircraft at an airshow. It has happened before in Brazil. Now why? Why are these small spherical UFOs so interested in the aircraft at airshows? It could be that these are probes which are monitoring mankind's development of advanced technology. Or perhaps it might be the case that this jet was maybe used in some kind of secret mission, perhaps tracking UFOs in chemtrails, and had successfully fired a missile at one of these UFOs, and the intelligences controlling these spherical unknown objects decided to pay back. Whatever the case, we can see that these UFOs have a kind of snide, strange agenda. They are possibly causing accidents, they're causing jets to crash, and they are monitoring us. I would like to welcome all of you to what is probably the world's most complicated mystery, and it's a mystery which I intend to fully unravel and explain in this film. And I've decided to call this film The Crop Circle Conspiracy. Space camps is really what the world needs. It's a subject which I take very, very seriously. The question of do UFOs exist is over. I'm just one of many millions of people who've seen, very strange things in the sky. I saw my first UFO when I was 12 years old in London. And airline pilots see them, NASA astronauts see them, Russian cosmonauts see them, and this question of whether extraterrestrials are visiting the planet in spaceships is just a redundant question now. It's a subject which I take very, very seriously because we see them. They appear on radar. NASA track them. They have been photographed by weather satellites, and space camps now will train a whole new army of people around the world to use the new generation of high-definition cameras, which are connected to refractor telescopes and night vision equipment, and we connect the output of the telescopes and the high-definition cameras to plasma screens, and then we use time-lapse, and time-lapse compresses the night sky, and you can watch 8 hours of the night sky in just a few minutes, and it can be automated. And the new telescopes, they have GPS. We can dial in the name of any celestial object, any star, any galaxy, and the GPS controlled telescopes will automatically find those celestial objects for us and then track them as they move across the night sky. And every morning you can watch the previous night sky in a few moments, and it's very easy to then be able to recognize what is an aeroplane, what is a shooting star, what is a helicopter, and what is a UFO. I was 12 years old. I was living in London, and I went up to some fields that had a panoramic view of the city with a friend of mine and a small telescope. And we were both 12 years old, and we were looking at the belt of Orion, the 3 stars in a row. Well, I thought that that's what I was looking at. But after a couple of moments, the right hand and left hand stars moved, and they moved around and did a 180-degree rotation and took up each other's places. And we realized that these were not stars, and it really, really terrified me. It was a life-changing moment, and I remember just turning around to my friend and saying, look, I'm getting out of here because this is really, really scary. And I just ran, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran all the way home. And I became one of those people, one of those people that, is a believer. I've seen something in the sky which is very odd, very strange, and everybody that I told, they didn't really take it that seriously. But ever since then, it's been a constant theme. It's been something which I've been constantly interested in. It's something that has been driven into me. The experience has sort of fueled nearly everything that I've done, and I've always been making films and documentaries and TV shows about extraterrestrial life and the mysteries of the cosmos. And then what I did is I signed up for a night school course at Greenwich University and studied astronomy. I remember the first time that I got a high-definition video camera, and the first thing that I filmed was the moon, and it was a JVC PD1 high-definition 720p high-definition video camera, and I took it outside, and I was amazed that it had 200 times digital zoom, digital magnification. And this was about 6 years ago, and I realized that this is going to change the world. These cameras, which you can go into, you know, your local store, and you can buy these high definition cameras with 200 times digital zoom. You can zoom into the lunar surface. And I remember standing on the terrace recording the moon, and I knew at that stage that if I could train an entire global team of people using high definition cameras, that we would smash this monopoly on science, which is being orchestrated and run by NASA. I've given up waiting for some official announcement. I've really just sort of given up hope on the Ministry of Defence. I've written to them many times. I've submitted Freedom of Information Act requests, and you just get these ridiculous stock answers. And the answers that I get from NASA and the answers I get from Ministry of Defence have never satisfied my curiosity, and they have no relationship to the everyday experiences of NASA astronauts who have filmed UFOs from the space shuttle on at least 4 or 5 dozen occasions. One day, after I'd made a film about crop circles and UFOs,